I'm Professor Joseph CICCOLINI. I'm a pharmacist by training. In a former life, I used to work in a pharmaceutical company in research and development, a company called Merck. I was working in the UK for a couple of years, and then I shifted back to the academic world, and I became a professor of pharmacokinetics at the University of Marseille. I'm hospital pharmacologist as well, so I work at the Latimon University Hospital of Marseille, and I'm specialized into pharmacokinetics and pharmacogenetics and pharmacometrics. Currently, I'm the head of the SmartC platform at the CRCM. I'm the co-head of the Compo team at the CRCM as well, and I'm the co-head as well of this department. Well, the translational department is dedicated to promoting translational research. And by translational research, we mean bridging the gap between basic science, or at least non-clinical science, and the bedside applications. So basically, we are all committed to speed up the process between transferring non-clinical findings, identification of novel targets, novel pathways, development of novel drugs, development of novel biomarkers to predict clinical outcome to the patient with cancer. We have several projects. The main one is, for instance, the RHU Pioneer, which is a big phase 2 clinical trial PI'd by Fabrice Barlesi. And this project is all about trying to understand the causes and the markers associated with response to immune checkpoint inhibitors in patients with lung cancer. And to do this, we have a unique mix of, well, clinical trial, pharmacokinetics, pharmacometrics, mathematical modeling, plus state-of-the-art biology, immunomonitoring, genetics, genomics. And it's really the combination of all these different tools and different skills that will help us to answer the question. The Pioneer project is a good example of the connection between the Assistance Publique Hôpital Marseille and the CRCM and the Pauli Calmette Institute, because you have several teams from the CRCM which are actively involved in the Pioneer project to provide the unique expertise in immunology. And that's a good example of how we have to group of forces between the teams from the university, from the CRCM, from the INSERM, from the CNRS, and so on, just to achieve a common goal. My group, in connection with other people from the department, we are working on identifying biomarkers associated with a clinical outcome in patients with cancer. And basically, we have identified, we have validated, and we have applied now at the bedside the search of very important markers which are likely to help us to reduce the toxicity of major anti-cancer agents while improving their efficacy. So we try to optimize the toxicity efficacy ratio of several chemotherapeutic agents. What makes translated department so unique is that it's such an amazing mix of different talented people with complementary skills in biology, in pharmacology, in mathematics, in clinical oncology, in genetics, and in chemistry as well. And at Translated, we try really to achieve the perfect blend between people. Sadly, the incidence of cancer disease is on the rise, especially in France. So even if we are making huge progress over the last decades, there is still a huge challenge to try to take care the best we can of the patients. And there are so many refractory tumors, just like pancreatic cancer, glioblastoma, children cancer, that requires a lot of efforts and a lot of work to try to win the war against cancer. And the other point which makes oncology a very attractive field of research is the fact that it's very active, and we have so many innovations, we have so many new drugs, we have so many new strategies that it's very challenging for a young researcher, because nearly every year you got to learn new things and new concepts. For instance, when I started oncology, some years ago, nobody had never heard of the anti-angiogenic drugs or the oral targeted therapies or the immune checkpoint inhibitors. Nobody knew about that. And now they're there, and we got to learn how to use them. And in the next future, we have new drugs and we'll have new concepts. And I know that I will be obliged to learn and learn and learn again, because you cannot deal with oncology if you are narrow-minded and if you think that, okay, it's done and the things you know are the things you know forever. It's not the way it works. You need to reset your mind regularly to try to cope with the innovation in oncology. And that's very challenging, and it's very exciting as well.